Mark Levin exposes Joe Biden in a way I've never seen before. You guys have got to check this out.
Now, and Mark, your reaction to what you saw last night?
Well, my reaction to all the attacks on J.D. Vance is that J.D. Vance is overqualified to be Vice President of the United States if the test is Kamala Harris. In fact, J.D. Vance has more qualifications than Barack Obama did when he ran for president. He was senator for 2 years. He'd served in the state Senate. He was a failed candidate for the House of Representatives. And before that, he was a community rabble-rouser and a Saul Alinsky adherent. We cannot view the real world through the lens of the media. The media in America are dangerous, they're vile, they're poisonous. They will defend the Democrats to the end. And I want to say something to Joe Biden. I haven't been on this air since my friend, the President of the United States, was almost assassinated, and I have spoken to him. You know, Joe Biden, you owe the nation an apology. You spent half a century in Washington, D.C. smearing people, from Robert Bork and Clarence Thomas. The things that you said about Ronald Reagan, I was there. The things you say about Benjamin Netanyahu, and you saved your words for Donald Trump. You are a desperate man, desperately seeking re-election, when 5 days ago your party was trying to get rid of you. It's amazing how the media turn on a dime. The talk for weeks and weeks is that this man has dementia, he's senile, he should be removed, and now he's a uniter. Joe Biden has never been a uniter. From his days as a race and segregationist in the South to his days today with the things that he says and he does. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump survived an assassin's bullet. God was watching over him. That's number one, Brian. Number two, lawfare is almost dead. Donald Trump has beaten a corrupt Department of Justice, a corrupt Attorney General, a corrupt DA in Manhattan. That case will be resolved properly. And a corrupt DA in Atlanta. They've tried to bankrupt him. They've tried to imprison him. They've smeared his character and his name. And I want people to remember something when they talk about J.D. Vance said these things about Trump. He's apologized. When will the media apologize? When will our Al Jazeera Pravda media apologize?
I love what he said there about the lawfare used against Donald Trump, but that was not the first weapon they used. No. The first weapon was taking him off social media. That was number one. Number two was the lawfare. Number three was the bullet. But thank God none of those three were successful, because Donald Trump is dealing with some evil forces right now. That's why we all have to come to a collective agreement. Donald Trump is best fit to serve this nation because he actually wants the best for the everyday average American.
When will Warner Brothers do something about CNN and the lineup at CNN? They have no self-reflection, no circumspection. The media have led the charge with this Hitler narrative, which is grotesque. Let me tell you something. As a Jewish person, that may surprise you, Brian, that I'm Jewish. As a Jewish person, the Holocaust is the most horrendous thing that ever happened to the Jews. And when I watch corporate media hosts and guests and politicians in the Democrat Party call Donald Trump the greatest friend that Israel has ever had, has Jewish grandchildren, a Jewish daughter, a Jewish son-in-law, who put in place the executive order to protect Jews on college campuses. When I listen to these reprobates in media, and they're not going away, they'll give it a week, they'll give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they never stop and they never will stop. This is who they are. Joe Biden's been doing this for 50 years. When I hear what these people say and they take no responsibility, right. Not one of them has been fired by corporate media. Not one of them has gone on the air and apologized. And the head of the whole operation, the man demanding that his campaign go low, attack low. Look, I'm telling it as it is. I haven't been on the air for 9 days. That's Joe Biden. It's always been Joe Biden. And I want to say this to President Trump. You know, Brian, everybody's been on all 9 days. I want to say something. God bless President Trump. He's pushed back the FBI. He's pushed back the Department of Justice. He's pushed back these DAs and attorney generals. He survived 2 impeachments. He survived a criminal investigation. No man should have to go through this. No man whatsoever. And I think the American people understand this completely.
You know what I don't understand? For those people who don't like politics and don't like getting involved in that stuff, you really don't have that much of a tough choice. Because you just think about it. Why are they going after Donald Trump so much? It's because they're terrified of him, of course. So anyone just looking in from an outsider's perspective, he's basically the only person being charged with crimes in Washington, D.C. So you just have to sit back and wonder, why are they so hell-bent on destroying this man? And I'll tell you why. It's because he actually cares. He's actually doing the right thing. And they're all just so frightened that he could expose them for what they all are. And they are sellouts to this country. I mean, goodness sake, wasn't there a guy who slept with a Chinese spy and he's still on like the intelligence committee? Like, come on, this is a joke.
Got this video in. I have not seen it yet. A different angle to the assassination attempt when Trump was, they tried to take him out and he was on the ground. I understand you see his shoes being blown off, and then him would eventually say, get my shoes, get my shoes. So I'm seeing this for the first time. You see it from the reverse side of the stage. You just see how harrowing it is. And to think that somebody would go through that, say, slow down, I want to say, fight, 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 and put his hand up in the air, knowing he was bleeding, he didn't even know where. So I just wanted to share that with the audience as we got it, because we're just trying to make sure this doesn't happen again, and there's still so many questions to happen, how this is able to happen at all. Now I'm going to go to something else that you're uniquely qualified to, unless you want to comment on this.
I just want to say, he called me 30 or 40 minutes before he went on the stage. He was in a great mood. He was excited. He said there's going to be 50,000 people there. He was happy about his campaign. He was happy about life. He felt really, really good. He was very chatty. I called him the next day. You know, I knew Reagan. I knew a lot of very great men. This man is historic. This man is special. This man is standing up against evil on so many levels. This man has put his life on the line, his family on the line, his career on the line, everything on the line. And I want the American people to compare that to Joe Biden, who thinks the presidency, he deserves it. And for some reason, he should get reelected. I want you to compare Donald Trump to these people in the media and how reckless and horrendous they are. Anyway.
Gotcha. I want to get to another area of expertise, the classified documents. So now all of a sudden it looks like Eileen Cannon, the judge, in a 93-page release, came out and said there is no reason for Jack Smith to have been appointed. He was appointed for an unconstitutional reason. Therefore, this case is done. They will appeal. In the big picture, what does this mean? What does it mean for the January 6th case? And what does it mean for the New York convictions?
Let me be very specific about this. This judge is a remarkable judge because she has guts and she has courage, just like the Supreme Court justices do. They are under horrendous pressure by the media, the Democrat Party, and academia. And these pseudo-professors in law school, they go on TV, they lie, they spin because they hate Donald Trump, and they don't much love the country either. That case in Florida, you might recall we even had people on this own network telling us it was a slam dunk case. We had Bill Barr saying it was a slam dunk case. I don't know where these people practice law. I've been practicing law for decades, especially at the appellate level with Landmark Legal Foundation that was involved in that case. Attorneys General Meese and Mukasey, that's how serious it was. They were involved in the case. Their representatives, their lawyers, are two former professors from the Reagan Justice Department. You see, the Reagan Justice Department had a major presence in that courtroom through Landmark Legal Foundation, Pete Hutchison and Mike, and people who work, Matt, under the radar, quietly, aren't TV personalities. Trump's lawyers have done a superb job. What this judge said in 93 pages, and this could be a seminal opinion, she said, look, the Constitution does not authorize Smith's appointment. He was not nominated to be confirmed by the Senate. There was a long debate at the Constitutional Convention about this, and Merrick Garland just blew it away. Then, Congress has the power to create the position by statute. It has done so in other departments to enable the Cabinet Secretary to delegate power. It didn't do so with the Department of Justice. Number three, there's no budget for this man. He's spending millions and millions of dollars, but Congress, through the power of the purse, and only Congress, can fund the office. And she said other things, too. But those three constitutional points, you would think that a former federal appellate judge who's Attorney General in the United States would comprehend this. So now they're going to appeal, and ultimately they're going to lose. They lost on immunity when people here and elsewhere were saying that Donald Trump's position is ridiculous. I said, it's not ridiculous. Trump won. The obstruction case. The obstruction statute, as I've said here, was not correct. They misapplied a statute purposely. What did the Supreme Court say? It's misapplied. In the case in Georgia, it's on appeal because they're looking into unethical conduct by the DA there in Manhattan. That case, if it's not reversed by New York, the president has a pathway to the Supreme Court. Lawfare is almost dead. It's on its back because Donald Trump defeated it.
The only man on this planet who could have defeated lawfare is Donald J. Trump. Who else would have the resources necessary to combat these tyrants whose only mission is to destroy this man? I'll tell you what right now, it is a sham what is happening right here with the Biden DOJ, because it just seems as if that they could just disregard the Constitution. That doesn't mean anything to them. Like, oh no, we could override that because we really dislike this man so much that we could just make our own rules. Well, I'm sorry, Biden, that's not how the United States government works. We have checks and balances. We cannot allow this. This is just straight up absurd. Just think about all the good ways this money could have been better spent rather than just going after Donald Trump in a witch hunt. But these people don't care about money. They're just giving billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine. If they actually cared about the average American citizen, they would make sure America is doing well before we even think about these other countries. But I'll tell you what right now, their day of reckoning is coming to a close this January when Donald J. Trump is sitting back in the White House, the Oval Office. I can't wait for that day. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Do you think what Jack Smith is doing is constitutional? Do you think Jack Smith should have been appointed, or was this just a gross miscarriage of justice by the Biden DOJ? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.